Yeah. Hair flip. Yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip. Yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. Let me just hair flip. Hair flipping on the toes. Hi.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to your boy Sean Davey Way Show. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe on the way in. Tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. Today, I bring you another short video on Miss Jennifer Hough. Jennifer is the victim of Kenneth Petty, which is Nicki Minaj's husband. As of recently, a resurfaced clip, or I should say FaceTime call, that Jennifer had with Black, which is Kenneth Petty's friend. Black and Jen had a conversation a long time ago about how she tried to get the charges dropped from Kenneth because of everything that her and her foster family were going through. So there was all type of harassment and ridicule and things in that nature. And Jen, at the time when she was 16, felt that it would just be better to just take this stuff away because it was just too much. And a lot of victims do go through that, to where when you're in an area to where everybody knows everyone and you have certain claims or something against someone that people like, it becomes a problem. You are ostracized, you're called things. People think that don't go around her because if you do, she's just going to lie on you afterwards and say that you did things that you didn't do to her, stuff like that. So as a 16-year-old, that would be a lot, you know, to go through. But at the end of the day, she is still a victim. With this clip coming out, there was a difference because before, Jennifer has stated publicly that she never wrote a letter to the DA about Kenneth's alleged innocence due to the fact that she was being berated and harassed. So
no statute of limitations on perjury. Perjury is when you lie under oath, and regardless if I made a statement or didn't make a statement, that is the reason why I stood up in court and I said, when a judge asks, like, yo, does anybody have anything to say before he is sentenced? I stood up and I said, Your Honor, I'm the person who pressed the charges. I would like to drop the charges. I made a huge mistake.
Wow.
This was like, I'm in court in front of his family, in front of friends, in front of everybody, like whatever. And they was like, take it to the DA, and nobody wanted to hear shit.
Because he probably didn't have a paid lawyer at that time. You know it's statute of limitation. It is
no
so.
Statute of limitation on perjury.
Yeah.
Professional or like a lawyer or something,
Uh-huh.
you need to tell what to write.
But did they offer? Did they say if you recant your story, you're gonna go to jail?
No.
When you wrote the letter, all right. When you wrote the letter and gave it to the DA, what did they say?
I wrote the letter, I gave it to the DA, and then I showed up at court.
Oh.
And I stood up.
Corey wrote a letter, and what you said in the letter though? That was
that I was pressured to press charges against him, and that I wanted to drop the charges. I didn't want him to go to jail. I was young. I was 16. You know, my words weren't. You know what I'm saying?
the clip that was shown brought vindication, and why the clip brought vindication was the things that Jennifer was stating, but Jennifer has stated it before. So all Jen was doing when she was having a conversation with Black was talking about the part of the situation that she came to try to get Kenneth vindicated so that she can stop being harassed and bullied, and her family as well. They were being harassed as well, and tried to get the charges removed from Kenneth. So it's just a part of her story. She's being transparent because it wouldn't make sense to people if you're stating these things about Kenneth, but you also tried to get him exonerated. Did you try to get him exonerated because you lied? Is the question and the narrative that is being pushed by a lot of people, because the conversation between Jen and Black was edited. It was only showing the key points that made it look as if Kenneth was innocent, and that is not what was happening. If Jen didn't talk about what she was talking about during this phone call with Black, it would make her look fake or like she is truly a liar, and she's not lying. She's just being transparent. I did try to get the charges removed, but I didn't try to get them removed because he was innocent. And that's the story that people are running around with. So let's get into Jen's response to the BARBZ, Nicki Minaj, and Kenneth, that what happened to her did happen to her. Jen posts to Instagram: I've tried to move on with my life, but every time I'm reminded of my painful past that I still struggle to deal with privately, publicly. I never wanted to go public. I never wanted to have to discuss these painful memories with the world. I was forced into that because of lies that were being told about me and my story. My story has never changed, but the constant manipulation by the media is what continues to cause confusion. Even when it was claimed that I was a white woman falsely accusing a black man of a crime, I remained silent until I began to be contacted by individuals who have the audacity to want me to recant my story to try to help my abuser with his current legal issues. I was 16 years old when I was violated with a weapon. Even then, opening up about what happened to me was putting me and my family in danger. As a result of the threats that followed, my foster family encouraged me to attempt to drop the charges in court despite my personal pain and feelings. I've stated this on The Real and countless other interviews on other platforms. This is the same thing I was opening up about in this resurfaced clip. I just want to be left alone. I don't talk to anyone. I'm tired of getting harassed. I don't talk to the blogs, and I damn sure can't manipulate the media by the way these people are. Victim shaming and blaming is never okay. Sometimes I wonder if 16-year-old me should have never said anything, because it seems over 20 years later, it still caused me nothing but pain. I pray that if you all or anyone you ever loved ever found themselves in my shoes, that your compassion and support would be much different regardless of who your abuser decides to associate themselves with. Quick sidestep before we get into the breakdown of Jen's response on IG to whoever does not believe her. I'm completely fine with the people that do not believe Jen and do not support her. That's okay. It's not a problem. You're entitled to that. Just like the people that believe her and support her, they're entitled to that too. And the main reason they're entitled to it, the supporters, is because Jen has at least came out and told her story, whether you believe it or not, and speak for himself instead of speaking for him. That is the problem now. You got people like Black and others that keep inserting themselves in something that has nothing to do with them. It is between Kenneth and Jen at the end of the day. Nicki Minaj has no involvement, okay? I feel a lot of people that support Nicki, especially, and Kenneth, are trying to vindicate Kenneth so that they can make it okay for Kenneth to be with Nicki. It's okay for them to be with each other. In my eyes, it doesn't necessarily matter what he's done in his background, because I am not with Kenneth. That is not a burden that I have to carry. It's a burden that Nicki does. And if she loves that man, which it seems like she does, that's all they need. They don't need any approval. Nicki does not need the BARBZ permission nor their approval to be with anybody that she is in love with. She now has a family, they have a child, and enough is enough. You know, when it comes to it, Kenneth is not bringing this situation up. Nicki is not bringing this situation up. When they did, it was on Queen Radio. That is the only cosign Kenneth has given, which is when Nicki was on Queen Radio and stated some things that weren't even necessarily true. She said that Jen was a white woman. That's not true, you know, among other things. So at the end of the day, I think everyone needs to leave it alone. Jen is trying to move on with her life and keep this up, because you cannot vindicate him. The only time Jen went to court and stated that these things did not happen was when she was a teenager. She was not an adult, 25, 30 years old, sitting in someone's courtroom stating that Kenneth is innocent. That has never happened. She has never been literally an adult stating, that this isn't true. It only happened while she was a teenager, okay? So let's get into the breakdown of Jen's response. Jen is stating that the FaceTime call that Black was showing was her telling him what happened with her and her foster family. Jen's foster family was tired of being harassed and ridiculed and belittled. So instead of going through all of this drama and whatnot in the neighborhood and the community, they felt it would be better for Jen to go and try and get the charges dropped from Kenneth so that they no longer had to deal with it. So her family is the one who she's stating in the video that basically bullied her into going forward and trying to get the charges dropped on Kenneth. It was not her decision. I was a 16-year-old girl that was going through all of this stuff, and regardless of the pain and the suffering that I was feeling on the inside, my family still felt that it would be better suited for me to go to court and try to get these charges removed to relieve the stress that they have going on in their lives, not thinking about the things that I'm going through on the inside. So she's stating, yes, I did try to get the charges dropped, but it was not due to my decision. It was not due to something that I wanted, okay? So that is what the video is about. It has nothing to do with Jen stating that she's recanting anything. She states that's why I came out in the first place, because people behind the scenes were trying to get me to come out publicly and recant my story for vindication for someone because they are now with a public figure. So that is what Jen is stating. So for the people that are going around stating that Kenneth is vindicated, how if Jen herself is stating this did happen to me? Thoughts? I would love to hear what everyone has to say about Jen and this alleged video with Black. Do you feel now that Jen is stating Kenneth's vindication, or do you feel that Jen was just stating what simply happened? Black did edit the call. He did not play the entire call, because you would have heard Jen go more into detail about the things that she was stating. How he edited it, it made it look like Jen called him and told him Kenneth is innocent, and that is not true. So shout out to Jen. I'm glad you cleared this up because I was very confused. Still love you to pieces. I hope you are healing, mama. I agree with her. I think people need to just leave her alone. She's not out here on blogs or anywhere trying to, manipulate people into hating anyone or not liking anyone. The woman, to me, is just simply trying to live her life. Anything that's coming out, especially as of recently, it's not like Jen's putting it out there herself. This is other parties. I love you all. Until the next video, I still stand with Jen. It just is what it is. I don't care who doesn't like me, don't like me. I'm completely fine with that. I don't know you. You don't know me. I don't know Kenneth, and I don't know Nicki. I don't owe anyone anything. So until the next video, again, I love you all. Bye.